Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel, and hi if you're new here, I'm Jade, and today we are going to go through some of my TBR and I want to pick 5 reads to add to my list to read by the end of summer. If I'm honest, I was like, what do I do for this video this week? I haven't had the most time. I've had the craziest, busiest week, and unfortunately, my neighbors are getting their roof done, and it's kind of loud right now, so I'm hoping it doesn't disturb the video too much, but I've kind of left it a bit late to film this week, I'm not gonna lie, so I kind of just have to do it. And then I've got 2 reasons why I decided this would be a good idea. The first one, I have kind of failed on my TBR this month, I'm not gonna lie. I definitely will not be finishing everything that was picked from my TBR jar. I've just had a really busy month and just prioritized maybe a few books over others, which maybe was the right or wrong thing to do, I don't know. But I do know that a lot of my TBR jar is going to push forward into next month. But don't worry, I'm still going to do my next TBR jar and I'm just going to make myself more committed. So my first reason is I just want to be more committed to getting some of this TBR down because it's so huge that I really need to commit to stuff that I already own. There are a few new books coming out that I will be buying and prioritizing, but I'm going to try and push a lot of the new ones off until I get this down a little bit more. So like any that aren't real favorites that I'm anticipating, I'm going to wait. Reason number 2, I'm going to be due to do my sort of most anticipated reads of the second half of this year video soon. And I know when I see that, I'm going to be anticipating even more books to add to my TBR and being excited for others. So again, I want this to be a commitment to this TBR and getting it lower. So I'm only going to commit 5 extra because with my TBR jar over the next 3 months too, that'll be 3 books for each month. So that's 9, 14 books within the next 3 months that I'll definitely get off of here. And then there's bound to be others as well. But I feel like I need to be getting through sort of at least about 5 off of my backlog each month. And I need to stop prioritizing so many new books. But it is hard because when I'm in book clubs, obviously I've got to buy and get the right book. So if I don't already have it, it adds, you know? So my 3 TBR jar picks are actually just sat on here still. I hope I will get 1 or 2 of them read by the end of the month, but I'm going to leave those to the side because obviously they are not going to be picked, and we're going to look through. Now, I will say I am generally more of a mood reader. I quite like to go with the seasons. So I do lean towards quite a lot of like romance and girly books in the summer, I will say. But I'm going to see what kind of vibes with me here. Maybe pick stuff that I really just want to get read sooner than later. And we'll see what kind of mix we come up with. But before we get started, let me show you my new additions to my TBR. I know, new additions. Shouldn't have bought anything. The first one is The Book Witch by Meg Schaefer. I have heard amazing things about this book, and I will say it vibes with me more for the autumn, but I mainly got it now because I had a voucher to spend at a local bookstore, so I used that towards this book. And what I thought was really cool is it's a signed edition, but like on a sticker that they've placed inside. But I thought that was still really cool, so I was like, I'll grab this now because I needed a reason to use my voucher. I also have Rewitched by Lucy Jane Wood. Someone kindly sent this to me and I have no idea who. So if it is someone who has clicked my wish list from YouTube, thank you so much. But I don't know if it's from here, Instagram. And I'm also in this like book exchange kind of group where you randomly gift each other. However, in that group, you're supposed to message each other and say what you've sent. And I got nothing. So I'm assuming someone off Instagram or YouTube sent this. So thank you so much because this is definitely one that's going to reach my full TBR, I think. And then the next is The Secret History by Donna Tartt. This is actually one of my book club's pick for the month, but I'll be honest, my book club is in a few days' time, and I just don't think I'm going to get to it. And it's because I picked up Crescent City, and it's taking me quite a while to get through, and I'm loving it, but it's taking me a while, and I think I'm just going to run out of time. But I will still read this, but I don't think I'm going to finish by the time my book club meets, sadly. And finally, I picked up As Long as the Lemon Trees Grow, mainly because I've wanted this for a long time. So when I was out shopping, I did pick this one up as well. But yeah, as said, I'm trying to be good and not add too many. And I feel like 4 since I last spoke to you, minus the odd book club one that's come in. I think those 4 are like the only new ones I've had in the past few months. So it's like maybe 2 months. I don't know. Is it that long? Something around that. So it's not bad, okay? So let's go through my TBR and let me pick 5 books that I do feel I really want to make sure I have read by the end of summer. So my deadline for this, I want to say end of August. If it slips just into the beginning of September, that's okay because September's really warm here. It feels like summer. So yeah, but my goal really is to try and get these all read by the end of August, as well as everything else for book clubs and TBR jar, etc. So let's have a look. What have we got? There is so much to pick from. I also have my thrillers in the cupboard, but if I'm honest, I'm not going to vibe with them as much in the summer. So I just don't really feel the need to go over there, I don't think. But yeah, I'm just like moving everything and seeing everything that I have. And there are so many choices. I've got to say a lot of these are like, I'd say darker fantasy type ones over here. So I don't feel like, again, they're necessarily ones that I'm going to be like, yeah, let's commit to a summer TBR with these. Also, now I'm on Crescent City, I kind of want to make sure I'm like focused on that as my like real fantasy read, because I need to finish that before all the new Sarah J Maas books come out. But you know what? I've just spotted one instantly. This one has to be on my summer TBR. And that is The Love Haters by Catherine Center, because I have not tried a Catherine Center book, and it is one that I've wanted to try. And you know, you can't get much more of a summery cover than this. So yeah, it kind of just screams summer vibes, and it's also not too long, so it's not too much of a commitment, but it's still going to clear up some space if I get through this one. So let's add this one to the pile. But just a quick summary of what I think this one is about is about a girl who does sort of like video editing, sort of video producing, I think, and she may get laid off from her job, but she's told if you take this other job, then your job's safe, and that is following a guy and profiling his life, but he is a lifeguard, I think. Let me check. Yeah, a Coast Guard rescue swimmer, so probably a little bit of a step up from lifeguard. I'm not an expert, not gonna lie. So she agrees to it, but there is a bit of a catch because she can't swim, and then, you know, it's a rom-com, so you get the picture. So that's 1 of 5 chosen. Let's see. What else do we want? There are so many books. I'm just like, I just want to read them all. I wish I had more hours in the day. But I've got to say, as my business gets busier, I am finding it a little harder to get my reading time. So I have 3 Emily Henry books on my TBR, and I feel like I have to add at least 1 in because I've got 3 other books. We need to get another one off. And I do really enjoy Emily Henry generally. So we have Happy Place. Definitely very summer vibes. It's kind of a similar cover to the Catherine Center book. You know, it's got the like floaties in the water. Then there is Beach Read by Emily Henry. Again, obviously very summery. I mean, it's called Beach Read. So I feel like either of those two are a very safe choice. I also have Funny Story, and this one is actually the one I'm probably most excited to read. I've heard the best things about it, but I feel like it's the least summery. So I feel like I should commit to one of the other two and just get it off my TBR. And you know what? I'm just going to go for Beach Read because it has been on my TBR the longest out of these 3. So I feel like that's a good reason to pick it. So this is about 2 authors that are sort of polar opposites in the way they write, and they end up living together like on next to each other beach houses. So yeah, they kind of are like locked in together for 3 months in the summer in these like beach houses. Well, I'm assuming it's summer based on the front cover. And I mean, it's Emily Henry, so I assume it's a rom-com. You might think it's weird that I don't always know like the full plots of things like this on my TBR, but if I'm honest, I often go if I just hear the name of the book around, I will sometimes just pick it up because I assume it's good, or if I've read something by that author, I might just pick it up without really knowing. And sometimes I kind of like to go into my books a little bit blind without too many expectations. And actually I was talking to my mother-in-law the other day, and she was talking about books, and I recommended one. She's like, oh, that doesn't sound like my kind of thing. And I was like, you know what, I don't really know what it's about. I just know that so many people have mentioned it that I'm trying to get hold of the book. And yeah, it's kind of funny because she was like, oh, I have to read like everything about the book first to know if I want to read it. Whereas I think I'm someone who's like trusts people. If they're like, this is good and enough people say it, I don't care what it's about. I'm going to give it a try. So let's find the 3rd book to add. There are quite a few over here that give those summery vibes. So I feel like there's so many I could pick from, and it makes it difficult. Like I really want to read so many of these. Let's see, what should we pick? There are, like, I literally am like wanting to pick like everything. But you know what, for the 3rd pick, I'm going to change it up a bit and pick The Housemaid is Watching, because I need to finish this series. This 3rd book has been sitting on my TBR for so long. So this is more of a commitment to finishing the TBR than specifically because I want summer vibes. These are books I want for the summer, but it's more that I just want to get this finished, not because it's summery. So let's pick this one. Obviously, I can't talk about the plot. It's a part 3. But I think most people have heard of The Housemaid or watched the movie or something now and get what the series is about. And I've enjoyed the series, apart from the novella, which was terrible, quite well. So hopefully I'll at least enjoy this one. So let's find number 4. I think we're going to go to another stereotypically summer one because I got this last year with the plan of reading it this year, and that is The Summer of Broken Rules. But this is essentially like a little cute summer wedding rom-com type vibe book. So I think this will be a really good read. Again, not too long a book, so not too much of a commitment. I feel like none of these that I've picked are too long. Actually, they're not too much of a commitment, but they are at least going to clear up some space for me. And I think for the fifth and final pick, I should try and pick something a little bit different again. So we've got 3 very stereotypical summary books. We've got 1 thriller just to complete a series, which I think is also really important for helping me with my TBR. Okay, I've got a couple of ideas. Either that one, this one, or... no, not that one. This one. Okay, so to try and choose something a little bit different to the others, my first option is The Midnight Rose. Now this would be a bit more of a commitment. It's a very long book, but it has quite a summary picture on the front, and I just know it would be very different to choose. This is one of those books that like spans a long timeline, so I think it covers, it says 4 generations on the back and starts in like 1911 until like the present day. So it's quite a long book, you know. This is definitely a commitment. It is, you know what, it's not quite as long as I thought it would be, being this chunky. It is 669 pages, but it is essentially about sort of like intrigue within a family and secrets and about someone famous. So I feel like it's interesting, but I will say the only thing that really screams summer is the front cover. Next we have Top Heavy by Rhonda DeChambeau. The reason I've picked this as an option is I don't know, all the colours make me feel summery. I don't think there's anything summery about this book, but the colours make me kind of think of summer. And actually I was gifted this by the author last year and I still haven't read it, so I feel really bad that I haven't read it. When I get gifted things, I tend to be quite quick. There's the odd occasion it slips past me and I've just been too busy and, you know, reading everything else, but this is one that did slip past me, and so I do still really want to commit and read it because it was gifted to me. So I feel like this could be a good opportunity. And then the third choice is TJ Klune's Somewhere Beyond the Sea. I could pick this as well because then it's finishing another series. But I don't know if this one screams summer as much as like the original one kind of has that cute spring summer vibe for some reason for me. I don't feel like this one does as much. Like the cover's much darker, and I think this is Arthur's story. So if you've read the first part, you might know what I'm talking about. If not, then this is Arthur's story, one of the characters. So which to pick out of those 3? I don't know. I feel like they're all good choices. If I'm honest, I think this will be my favourite, but I feel like the other 2 would be picking something that I'm not as likely to just reach for. So you know what? Let's go for Top Heavy by Rhonda DeChambeau because, as I said, gifted to me by the author, and so I feel like committing to that author now and getting this book read and reviewed for them. So I feel like that's a good choice. And just a quick summary of what this is about. It's about 2 friends that are dancers. I think we mainly follow one friend, and it's a story told all through poetry, I believe, which is going to be very different for me. So it's kind of cool to experience something else as well. So that's another reason I think this is going to be a good pick. So there we have it, 5 books to add to my summer TBR. So just a quick reminder of everything. And you know what I just noticed is it's kind of ironic that I'm filming this today because we had a load of storms last night and it's like the coldest it's been for ages. I want to say currently right now it's 14 Celsius. I'm not sure what that is in Fahrenheit. I'm sorry, I'm terrible even though I live in America now. But we've been over 30 Celsius for days. So the fact it's 14 right now, it's crazy. And I'm filming summer stuff. Yeah. So just a quick reminder, we have The Love Haters by Catherine Center, Beach Read by Emily Henry, The Housemaid is Watching by Frida McFadden, The Summer of Broken Rules by Kelly A. Walther, and Top Heavy by Rhonda DeChambeau. So yeah, I feel like that adds a very good mix to my summer TBR. Let me know what is going to be on your summer TBR to get through. As I said, I've still got very many more with summer vibes, and hopefully I'll get through more of these too, but I just really need to start to committing to getting this massive TBR down a little bit so that by the end of the year, I feel a little bit better about it. So that's my goal. I'm going to keep these ones off in a pile separate as well, so I can start filtering some books onto here now because these piles on the floor are a bit ridiculous. So then I can start moving things across, which will make things look nicer. I mean, this is going to create now, all of these are a pile on the floor, but they're ones that I know are going to go soon. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Next time, I think, should be my TBR jar. So that's coming around very, very soon. And I will see you again real soon. Bye!